Hi everyone and welcome back to another Megazord review. Today we're looking at another S.P.D Zord. This is the S.W.A.T Megazord. This actually has two modes to it. It has the normal Megazord mode and then it has something called the S.W.A.T Flyer Cannon, which we will take a look at shortly. I quite like this Zord. It's very different. This used aerial Zords compared to what the original one did. It only had one aerial Zord and it was mainly comprised of cars. This was used to, it was mainly like an upgrade. They ended up getting upgraded powers, in the S.W.A.T mode, and this was the Megazord that came with it. Yeah, it has dual magnum blasters. I only have one because for some reason my one only came with one, so that's why you only see one gun. And this is capable of space flight and yeah, and this was it was used for helping to defeat the evil A Squad Rangers Megazord because they destroyed the Delta Squad Megazord, which you saw in a previous video. So they ended up more or less using this sword for the rest of the season after that. So let's get into looking at the Zords individually, and then we'll take a look at the S.W.A.T Flyer Cannon mode, and then we'll take another look at this. So first up we have the S.W.A.T Flyer 1. This was piloted by Jack, the red S.P.D Ranger. It's the fastest of the flyers, and this forms the head, torso and upper legs of the S.W.A.T Megazord and the upper part of the Flyer Cannon mode. Yeah, it's has a high mobility as well compared to the other Zords, so this was used quite often. Next up we have S.W.A.T Flyer 2, which was Sky's Flyer Zord. It has high stability and it is able to hover while in flight and is equipped with wing-tipped blasters. And this forms the Megazord's arms and the trigger and like grip for the Flyer Cannon. Next we have S.W.A.T Flyer 3. This was Bridges, the green S.P.D Ranger. This is like used as a container carrier type vehicle. And this forms the lower legs of the Megazord and the barrels for the cannon. Here we have S.W.A.T Flyer 4. This was the Zord for Z, the yellow S.P.D Ranger, and this is able to perform stealth flight, and it has special armaments for flares or tear gas built into it, and this forms the right foot of the Megazord and the right muzzle of the cannon mode. Next up we have S.W.A.T Flyer 5, which was used by Sid for the pink S.P.D Ranger, and it is built with a huge speaker in it used to transmit warnings or give citizens advice, and it was able to fire extinguish by using water drainage, and this forms the left foot of the Megazord and the left muzzle of the Flyer Cannon. So before we take a look at the Megazord again put together, we're going to put together the cannon mode. So let's do that. So here we have all 5 pieces, and we will let's get to it. So what happens with this is we'll fold down all of these wheel parts, and then this bit here kind of just clips together, and that creates the grip and the trigger. Next up we'll fold the wheels down on these ones as well. We'll do that, and this bit basically just slides. If I can, slides in that way. Just like that. First I think I've Yeah. We need to flip these bits round so the cannons can go onto it. And that slides in, like I said, just like that. Next up we have these bits. So these just pull apart. Fold in the wingtips. And that creates the barrels. And then next up we have these, which just like so, and that forms the cannon mode. So just pop that there. So the cannon mode, this is like the main weapon mode for the S.W.A.T Megazord, and this was able to shoot containment cards to capture said monsters, and this also used it as a handheld weapon for the Delta Command Megazord, which we will see in a future video. And one occasion, Sky and Jack took the cannon by itself to destroy a giant meteor in the show, and they only kind of just barely like hit it. All they managed to do was reveal the core, which then they had to use another Zord to help destroy the meteor with. But yeah, that's the gun mode. So what we'll do is we'll quickly take this apart, we'll put all the individual Zords back how they were before, and we will do the Megazord. So we were going to take it all apart, but we're not going to need to, because not much changes on this sword from the Flyer Megazord. So the lower part stays the same as well as this, but on here we'll just pull this back and take the blue Zord off. And then all we need to do is pull down that, and the head just pops up through there. We'll turn that round, and that reveals the head. And then we will get this, and this basically just pulls apart and slots in there. I've got that the wrong way around. And there we go. And there we have it. There is the S.W.A.T Megazord. Again, I quite like this Zord. It's a really cool looking Zord, and it's quite cool that it can form into a weapon as well for another Zord. But thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.